Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the elementary and middle school band and choir concert. Seated in front of you are the 5th and 6th graders, which is very different for me because this is the first time I've ever started 2 classes, actually 3 classes the same year. So this is a new experiment we tried, and it's going quite well. So we have a mixture of 5th and 6th, and some of them started with me in summer, some of them started at the beginning of the school year, and with the time that we get, we meet once a week with our lessons. That's what we did the first semester, so I got to see them for about 25 minutes once a week, and then we started adding that full band piece about mid-year so that we would have that extra rehearsal and get these guys together. But when we started working in the actually together as a full band, we were in this space and we were all spread out like 6 feet apart, and so that was kind of a little different as well. So as of March, we finally got to sit in our seats and kind of get back to quote-unquote normal with the way we're playing. And so it's been a couple interesting years obviously with COVID, but I'm so excited to be happy and back with these students and working with them on a regular basis. In the beginning of the year, we spent time obviously putting the instruments together, making our embouchures, working on posture, and then we start doing kind of basic 5 or 6 notes, getting into just some basic rhythms of whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes. And usually we just keep progressing from there. And so now we got to the point where we can learn our first full band piece together. And today, took us a few months to kind of get enough time to get together to feel comfortable, and you'll hear that in just a little bit. But I did want to feature them a little bit more than just that one band tune. So we're going to pop around the band and feature each section individually. So I was teasing my oboes and flutes. They're my first victims of the night. They have just started off and they're nervous, but don't they look nice? So like I said, you have to dress nice. Now what does that mean? And they all look so spiffy. So I'm going to ask my flutes and oboes to stand up. So flute, the biggest challenge in the beginning is obviously getting enough air across the hole, but in the hole, and also doing this to the side. You can't see your fingers. So we've had many conversations about how challenging that is initially until you get that comfort level. And oboe is the most difficult instrument in the band, and I'm so lucky to have 3 of them, and they're doing a great job. It's a lot of the fingerings and all that stuff that make it a little bit tougher. But they are doing a duet together, and it's called the Russian folk song, and we kind of laugh. It's written by Beethoven, so it's a Russian song written by a German. So here we go. Guys ready? Wonderful. All right, we're going to come over here to our next lowest woodwind, to our clarinet section. You guys can go ahead and stand up. So for the clarinets, obviously they have a single reed, but they have to cover the holes, and that can be a little bit of a challenge in the beginning, just getting the coordination for that. But they are doing wonderful, nice, dark tone quality. They all have that, and that's what we're looking for as clarinets. So we're going to be doing Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I think I'll go this way. So we're going to go now to our next lower woodwind family member. We have our alto saxophones. So they're going to stand. Look at that look on their face. So for my alto saxons, we are playing Little Robin Redbreast. And if they have the single reed too, so for saxophone, in generally they don't have to worry about closing the hole, so it's a pretty good instrument to start with, and they've just taken it and run with it. So we're going to do that for you tonight. Here we go. And now going to row 3 at the very end, I have 2 tenor saxophones, 2 brave souls. Same kind of kinesthetics as the alto sax, just a little bit bigger mouthpiece, a little heavier. And we had Raylan, and we have Frankie, and Frankie just switched actually a couple weeks ago. So they chose to do a duet together, and they're gonna do one from our book called Love Somebody. Thank you. All right, and we're going to move to our brass family. I have a lovely row here of trumpets and French horns, French horn being one of the most challenging and second difficult in the band, but most challenging brass instrument. But both of the gentlemen on French horn are doing a wonderful job. Go ahead and stand up, you guys. So we have a nice array of brass back here. And so for us as brass player, I'm a brass player myself, so it's just a matter of learning how to firm the lips and loosen the lips to get the range that you want. So I always tell the students that the brass range is a work in progress. You will grow when you're ready and your lips start to kind of understand how to do those higher notes. So they've decided they're going to play A La Rueda, which it has a little bit of a soli in it. So the first time they're going to play it all together, and then you'll be able to hear the 2 different sections that they're each at the different times. Swing over this way so I can get out of the way of the trombones. We'll have them stand up. My slide trombones. For us, we've been working on making that, obviously, their initial sound, but learning where those positions are. And, you know, it's kind of fun on Fridays. We were kind of last couple weeks, the book kind of goes to first, and I'll have them show that to you. So I'm going to have you guys do the first B flat, which they're not going to move because that's their all the way in. And then we also learn third, E flat, right? So they're going to move their slides. We learn D in fourth. And then we did 6 C, right? And then we'll slide back into first. And then we just got to the point where we're talking about 2, which you guys can go to 2, which is like about 1.5 inches out, and then going to 5, so kind of that midway between 4 and 6. So they have to learn where to place it, and then once they get better at it, they have to learn how to tune that. Because the cool thing about the trombone is they can tune like that. They don't have to mess with the tuning slide too much. They can move in and out. So that's what their next step will be as they keep getting older and more experienced. They're playing Hot Cross Buns. It's such an honor to work with these guys. They are doing such good work. And before we do our final piece, I do want to do a shout out for my percussion too. For next year, I was talking to them today, and I was like, this is going to be. I love next year because I see we get to have more time together. And so my 5th graders will have a combined band once a week and a lesson once a week. The 6th graders going to 7th graders will see me every other day for 40 minutes. Full band. So you're going to hear the musicianship just increase really quickly next year because they all have a year of study and they're going to get more time. So I'm super excited about that. And like I was saying, the percussion section, we don't really have a carved out time for ourselves. We just have to kind of incorporate and learning all that stuff within the wind lessons. So they have done a fantastic job of jumping in during those quarter notes, half notes, doing all the bass drum, the snare drum stuff, and keeping us together on our next piece. So we're gonna put all the sections together right now and play a piece called Popcorn Prelude. I've done this many times. It's a fun piece, and the popcorn thing you'll kind of understand once you see it going why they call it Popcorn Prelude. So we hope you enjoy. And we'll be back in just a moment with the 7th and 8th grade band. Seated before you is a 7th and 8th grade band, and this is an unusual year for me too because of the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, these 7th graders are from scratch. So as I was approaching this year, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have to start 3 groups. We're gonna lose that time. We're gonna everything is gonna be backed up and things just won't progress like they normally do. But honestly, the 7th grade, I wouldn't even know. I mean, we had the December concert, and I picked pieces that were attainable for them at that time, and just enough to give this 8th grade a little bit of a challenge. But then knowing what they could do and what we did after that, I was like, man, these kids can handle some harder stuff. And so throwing some of these new pieces at them, they've just risen to the challenge. So I'm super impressed. Like I said, I wouldn't even guess that they have missed a year of study, and they have taken to it like gangbusters. So that's really fun, and it's a testament to how hard they work and the enthusiasm that they have for playing music. It's a very musical class, and they just have a lot of fun with it. So that one was Cardiff Castle. It's a nice kind of rockasaka, easier piece for us to do, kind of warm us up for that spring concert. And then our next one we're gonna do is a Randall Standridge piece, and I really like his stuff. He's got a lot of really cool, relatable pieces from middle school and high school. So actually, if you're gonna be here next week, you'll hear one that the high school band's doing, and they're just a phenomenal composer. This has been super fun because it's a robot, it's that machinery, so it's kind of this constant moving 8th note thing happening, but challenging the students to work on their staccatos and challenging them to learn a couple flats and sharps that they have not played before. And also using some unusual techniques within, so you might hear some different instruments or some vocal stuff. So we hope you enjoy Mechanical Monsters. So I know I talked about my 7th grade, it's for me time to talk about my 8th grade. So this group has stuck with it through COVID. You know, they were with me half a year virtually and doing all these little odd tasks. You probably remember that in Music First, like, oh, I gotta get my scales done. And it was like playing into a vacuum. And I'm just really, really proud of them for continuing. Like, I love music and I'm gonna stick with it, even though these are not like the normal routines that we normally do. So the 8th graders this year have been phenomenal leaders. They are, you know, in the lessons with the 7th graders once a week, and they are the ones that they're playing the parts out, and the 7th graders follow their lead, and they've really helped them grow quickly. Also with the 8th grade, I always do I didn't do the last couple years, but we have a 8th grade pep band night where we bring those kids up, learn some tunes for the high schoolers play, come to a basketball game, just get a taste of what high school band is gonna be like. And typically in past years, I've done like 3 or 4 tunes with the kids. This group of 8th graders learned the entire pregame show, which is like 7, 8 songs, which is awesome. And so that they never had a chance to sit down and they just could play all of it. And this is the group where they come in and they play it once or twice and they start to get it and they remember it and they retain it. So it's the next day, it's like, okay, you got it, let's move on. So just awesome. I think they're going to blend in seamlessly to the high school band, and I think they're really going to enjoy it because that whole level of halftime shows and pep bands and marching band and all that stuff is just going to be so much fun for them. So thank you, 8th graders, for being the leaders that you are this year. Our next piece is a challenge for this group, and I think if you ask most of the people in the band, like, this is the one I don't like the most, just because it's hard, right? So they have 8th notes in it, they have lots of sharps and flats that they're not used to playing, there's some range stuff, but it's a really cool piece by William Owens. I got the chance to take a class with him years ago, and he writes great stuff for middle school band. This one's called Egyptique, and it really puts you into that Middle Eastern Aladdin kind of feeling, so we've had fun putting that together. So here we go. Before we conclude our next piece, thank you again so much, parents, for getting the instruments, buying the reeds, making sure that they're schlepping them to school, and just getting him here tonight. I really appreciate the effort and the time and the money that goes into making music education part of your child's life. It reaps, so much from doing this. Besides the mental stuff with the students of just having to decode a foreign language and learning how to read that and putting the emotional part in there and all that stuff, that it's such a great moment for them to learn that life skill and the camaraderie that they have from being in band together. So again, thank you for that. And we are going to conclude our portion with their favorite. I think this is their favorite, but it's from Moana. So if you've watched Moana on Disney, you'll like this one. It's We Know the Way. And this challenge for us with this one is, I remember when we put it in front of them, the 7th graders were like, what? And so this one has a lot of 8th notes, down to quarter notes, some range. My trumpets are always talking about the high C's, but they're doing great with that. And just, some of these little rhythmic things that are a good challenge for them. So here we go. right, we'll be right back. We're going to strike the stage, and we'll bring the choirs out in just a moment.
All right. Thank you for waiting. Good evening, and thank you so much for coming to our middle school concert tonight. The last few months in the choir room have been filled with hard work, laughter, and a lot of growth. I have truly appreciated working with the wonderful students that are performing tonight, and they are really excited to sing the music that they have been preparing for you. So right after our last concert in December, I had the students complete a project where they searched for choir songs on the website that I use. And then from there, we took those songs and we put them into a big March Madness bracket, and we listened to them, and we voted on one until we came up with our top song. I will let them introduce the one that they picked for you tonight, but it's been really fun for them to get to work on a song that they picked, and they've been enjoying. And I don't even know if I told them this, but this was also one of my favorite songs when I sang it in middle school as well. So this has just been a really fun piece to put together, and I'll let the middle schoolers introduce it now.
The first song we will be performing is Fireflies. Fireflies was composed by Adam Young and arranged by Matt Huff.
This song is about how you can find light in the dark when you dream. One thing I like about this song is the added harmony.
This song will feature light choreography as well as soloists Grace Lewis, Abe Chavez, and Addie Hendrickson. We hope you enjoy.
You would not believe your eyes, your 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep. 'Cause they fill the open air and leave teardrops everywhere. You think me rude, but I would just stand and stare. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems.
'Cause I get 1,000 hugs from 10,000 lightning bugs as they try to teach me how to dance. A foxtrot above my head, a sock hop beneath my bed, a disco ball is just hanging by a thread.
I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems when I fall asleep. To 10 million fireflies, I got misty eyes. They teach but I'll know if several are. In my dreams get real bizarre, 'cause I saved a few and I keep them in a jar. That planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say, but I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems. When I fall asleep, I'd like to make myself believe
next song we will be singing for you is Bonseaba. This song is composed by Victor C. Johnson. When starting this song, we learned about Zambian culture. It is a popular folk song with upbeat rhythms and is accompanied by percussion instruments. Thank you to high schoolers Skylar Byer, Avery Boyam, and Alexa Lindstorm for playing for us today. Enjoy.
The next song we will be performing is We Can Dream. This song was composed by Pink Zebra and will feature soloists Adrian Scott and Shannon McCall.
In this song, we learn to be more confident with our voices. This song is about taking risks and living life to the fullest.
What's your story? What's your plan? Where are you going to? Where do you stand? In this moment, take a chance. Feel the light shine down. Live your life out loud. You can dance.
Take a high road to your dreams.
Before our last song, I would like to just say a big thank you to the Belleville administration, teachers, and staff. Thank you for all your help with putting this concert on. It wouldn't have happened without you. Thank you, Chris Peniston, for accompanying our choirs tonight. She's amazing, and we really appreciate her. Students, you have made my first year of teaching really memorable and enjoyable. I'm lucky to be your teacher, and I'm really proud of your accomplishments. Seventh graders, I hope you keep singing in eighth grade, and eighth graders, I'm so excited for you to transition to the high school and start that new chapter. Know that there's always a place for you in the Belleville Music Department. And finally, thank you to all of the parents and families that are supporting tonight. It would not be possible without you, so thank you for encouraging your students to participate in music. We really appreciate it. As we wrap up this year, we still have a few music events going on if you're interested. So next Wednesday is our high school band and choir concert here at 7 a.m. And then the following Wednesday, we will be having Jazz in the Park on May 25th, and that's where the jazz band and the vocal jazz will perform in Library Park. So we hope to see you there. Thank you again so much for coming tonight. We really appreciate your support.
The last song we are performing is We Are the World. This song was composed by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie and arranged by Roger Emerson. It will feature soloists Lucas Lowshaw, Sophie Tuck, Sarah Keifenheim, and Mira Allen. This song was originally composed to raise money for famine in Africa. What makes the song special is they brought together a large group of celebrities such as Willie Nelson, Kenny Rogers, and Tina Turner to make the original music video. They raised over $60 million for families in Africa. I like this song because it sounds very united when we sing all together. I hope you enjoy our performance of We Are the World.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one.
There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all.
We are the children.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. Have a wonderful night.